Hey guys, I hope you guys doing amazing. My name is Byb. Welcome to my channel in Africa and in the diaspora. All right, so this channel here we speak about anything cultural, politics, social, pretty much anything that inspires us. For this video I would like to talk about black people. Black people. It's sometimes I don't like to use the term black people, but we had to appropriate the term black people because we know we are actually Africans, we African descended. But again, a lot of people will argue, yeah, we're not Africans, we were not born in Africa, where if you look like me, you are melanated. That just means you have ancestry in Africa. So let's say for all the people that identify as having ancestry in Africa, listen, Africa is a huge continent, and by now Africa is the wealthiest continent on planet Earth in terms of mineral resources and also human resources, right? So this video is not to necessarily talk about resources or our qualities, but this is talk about black people, Africans all over the world in terms of our unity, right? I think that considering historical events such as Africa centuries way back, right, we did not have the presence of Europeans, right? The world was set in a way that Africans had the continent, right? Europeans had the continent, and the Asians had the continent. So we have all these lands where people inhabited these lands and developed the cultures, developed the places. And as the world evolved, we had to face the presence of Europeans. Some of the first Europeans who landed to Africa was the Portuguese. Then we had the Spanish, we had the French and the British, and then came slavery, and then black people got scattered pretty much all over the place, in Americas, in European lands. Well, in a certain time period of history, that's why black people got scattered during the slave trade. But however, when we do further research, black people, Africans traveled way before Christopher Columbus, way before, because hey, humans are nomads. Humans are made to travel, so they travel way before what history tells us, way before we think sometimes Africans only left the continent of Africa during the slave trade. That's not the case. But we're gonna talk about the aftermath. Slave civilization, slavery, slave trade, then slavery, and then colonization. Africa was split in multiple parts, which we now call countries, during the Berlin Conference in 1884 to 1885 in Berlin. And the conference was led by the German Chancellor Bismarck. So all European nations, they got the most powerful European nations got countries in Africa, and they split Africa and renamed those parts of those territory as nations or as countries, and they even gave them names like the names we have now in Africa today. We count about 54 countries in Africa, right? But you have to remember, those borders were not drawn by Africans. Those territories were not drawn by Africans. That's why you see, for instance, in the case of Nigeria or Niger, you're gonna see the same people, the Hausa people on both sides of the border. You're gonna see the Fulani. If you come in the Congo, same thing. You see Congo Brazzaville and Congo Kinshasa. You're gonna see back in the day, and Angola. Those are used to be the big kingdom of Congo, and eventually you had multiple more kingdoms like the kingdom of Teke, Luango, Bete, or Tuba, all those kingdoms. But where now that the Africa got divided, you find actually the same people. Like Congo Kinshasa, we speak Lingala, Kituba, Congo, We have this, same culture, same food, same music, same pretty much everything. Eventually when you east in Congo Kinshasa, you have Swahili. Swahili, when you speak Swahili, you're gonna find the same language in Kenya, Rwanda, Uganda, Tanzania. So basically, and the same people in Congo Brazzaville, you're gonna see the Punu people. The Punu people are in Gabon, for instance, and after you go up north in Congo Kinshasa, you're gonna see the Bete, Congo Brazzaville. You're gonna find them in the Central African Republic. So it's basically cousins got divided, and some now speaking French, some are speaking English, some are speaking, others are speaking Spanish or Portuguese. And it's not random, it's just because of colonization. And depending which European country colonized, that's where people are speaking all these European languages. Luckily, in Africa, we were able to preserve our local languages, right? We have still the local languages, even if the colonizers' language is usually the official language because they haven't designed the curriculum. But let's come back to being Black. Now we have talked about where we came from, how we found ourselves in all over the world. This video is to always tell Black people, if you really listen to me, to always remember your ancestors in Africa, all right? So we have gone through a lot. When I say a lot, like I named it. If I look at our African or Black brothers and sisters who are living in the Americas, and especially in the United States, they have also gone through it. Slavery, Jim Crow, the prison system, segregation, racial injustice, and every time it just keep going, police brutality. So I think in the face of this event, isn't it real the time that we question ourselves and that we think about developing cause of Black people uniting? We have to unite because we really share common history. Black people in Africa and overseas, we share common history because a lot of this injustice and institutionalized injustice comes really pretty much from the same people are they who colonized or who enslaved us. These are Europeans, right? Any Caucasian person who called himself America, but there was no America. We all know they came from Europe. So the French, the British, everybody got occupied the land, started with the 13 colonies, and then made their way on and on until they occupied all the lands, until probably the last one was California states to get occupied. But they come from Europe, and we know we went through a lot. We're still going through a lot because we're still fighting just for our basic rights, for our basic humanity. So we have to develop codes to be Africans, to be Black, and also to know that only our unity, wherever we are, can trigger respect, consideration, and also will allow us to be strong, right, as a people. Because I'm not asking for any kind of perfection, like, oh yeah, we need to love each other all the time. No, we have not to, fight. We can fight, we don't have to, but we just have to understand that if it's burning in Africa, if you are Black in America, you are Black in Brazil, you are Black wherever in the world, you should be concerned. And if you are in Africa, it's burning in America for any Black community, you should be concerned. And we're gonna talk about Black leadership as well, all over the world. You have to understand we are one. Pretty much anywhere you go in the world, I have traveled in the world, you're gonna see the Black communities is usually, if not always, the most struggling community. And that's not okay. How can we come from the wealthiest continent on earth? We have all these resources, and yet we are not producing because we not get together, or we are not supporting our economy. Our dollars or whatever money, currency that you use, is usually going to other communities because we're not having ownership of businesses. We are not having ownership of corporations. So we have to understand that only our unity, developing those goals, just like other communities do, that's one thing gonna make us strong. So if it's burning at, you know, your neighbor's house is burning, you're not just gonna keep quiet and keep still and not do anything. You're probably gonna stand also to help, you know, stop the fire, because if you don't do it, you know what's gonna happen, right? The fire is gonna come to you, to your house. So that's why Black people all over the world, we gotta develop codes. And our leadership, our presidents, and everybody, we should care that the African problem should be Black people's problem. Black people in Brazil's problem, and we should learn how to speak for those issues that's going on. And that allows us, when you meet a Black person on the street, just not like you've met yourself on the street, that you care about you, you care about that person. You know, a little nod, a little smile. He doesn't, you know, it feels good just to meet another Black person and they smile at you, they say hi to you. You know, hey, you don't have to love each other or whatever, but it's just like acknowledging. It feels good, right? But that's just a way to ask for us developing codes. And when we start by developing those codes of unity, and that's also going to allow us to develop a strong economy, develop businesses and franchises, businesses that are connected worldwide. Like we see all these franchises. I know we can buy them, Black people buy all kinds of franchises, right? But we should have something that is created by us for us. It is all possible, and it's okay, I think, to say that. Not I think. It is okay to say that we have something that we own, that we created. Because everybody else, you know, they just do it. You know, Jewish communities, they do it. Our Latina brothers and sisters, they do it. You know, our Asian brothers and sisters, they do. Everybody does it. It's okay. You know, our Arabic brothers and sisters, they just do it because they care about themselves. We should care about ourselves, and we have to understand that they should be, even in the relationship we develop with other communities, it should be a relationship based on exchange, right? Not just us spending money to the place. They make sure also they can spend money in our businesses. But if they don't, that is okay, because they are, hey, how many billions of Black people in the world? Okay, there's a lot of us. So just us, it's enough to take care of us. We have to understand, just as we are enough to take care of us, just others are enough to take care of themselves. We can do it. So all this will collaborate with us. This is good. Hey, we gotta have good allies. But if they don't, that is okay, because we have got us. All right. So we have to understand cause of unity. Unity is the only way that's gonna make us strong, right? And eventually there are external forces that are working hard for that unity not to happen. But it needs to happen. We have to understand it. We need to teach this to our children. We need to teach to have this conversation among our families, so that we know that the sacralization of Black person is crucial, and it's the only condition to liberation, to freedom. It's the only condition to independence, only conditions to reclaiming our greatness. All right, that was my video for today. Unity, Black people all over the world, wherever you are, let's do our best to stay connected. Let's do our best to do businesses, and let's do our best to trust. I know the trust has been lost in many communities, many Black communities, but let's do our best to trust again. Okay, thank you for listening to me. I'm sending you all the blessings wherever you are in the world, right? Thank you. See you. Bye-bye.